portfolio approach is basically he looking at speculative money demand, not transaction demand for money he is looking at. Okay. So in the portfolio approach of the speculative demand for money, okay, that we are looking at, okay, is given by Tobin. Okay. Here he is talking about risk return choice, okay, of holding your wealth in the form of money, okay, or in the form of bond. Okay. So every individual faces risk return choice, okay, in the form of holding money and bond. So when they hold bond, okay, they are getting certain return in the form of rate of interest. If you go back, remember I have done one bond market thing, okay. So when they hold bond, they get rate of return. Risk involved, why? Because price of bond fluctuate, okay. Money provide risk aversion, okay. When there is a fluctuation, no, you want to store the value of that asset in the form of money, okay. So money act as a store of value. That is why it is called speculative money demand, okay. Or you look at store of value nature of the aspect of the money demand, okay. His focus is on individual portfolio allocation, okay, between money holding and bond, okay, subject to wealth constraint, okay, which I do not buy W bar, okay. Higher the wealth, higher will be the money holding, okay. That means he also saying that there is a positive relationship between holding money and holding income, okay. From where you are getting your income, so there is a positive relationship. He is also talking about that, okay. Second thing, he talk about rate of interest that we are going to show, okay. So he focus on individual portfolio allocation, optimum allocation between holding of money and bond, subject to wealth constraint, okay. And you know budget 9 constraint, okay. So similar to I write wealth constraint. So money plus bond determine his wealth constraint, okay. Given this wealth constraint, okay, we have to make optimum allocation of his portfolio, okay. This money holding and bond represent this individual or investor portfolio, okay. In the case combination that we have done, okay, we have seen that individual, okay, keep liquid asset either in the form of money or bond, not in both, okay. Either individual will keep the entire money, okay, in the form of entire wealth or asset in the form of money, okay, or in the form of bond, okay. So there is a no mix up, okay, that some portion he keep as a money, some portion he keep as a wealth, no, okay. Remember N2, speculative demand for money is a function of rate of interest, okay. So here in Keynes combination, okay, individual is keeping liquid asset either in the form of money, okay, or in the form of bond. When rate of interest is high, okay, there will be less speculative demand for money, okay. And when rate of interest is low, there will be more speculative demand for money, right? That thing we have done. So in this case, there is a separation. This is what Tobin is talking about, okay. That individual face risk return choice, okay. So risk involved in keeping bond. Why? Because bond price fluctuate, okay. Given your portfolio, okay, if you have higher proportion of wealth in the form of bond, okay, it also involve risk, okay. Risk in the form of, because you have uncertainty return. When the price of bond increases, decreases, you don't know when it will be going to happen, okay. It depends on the supply of bond, demand of bond, that aspect, okay. So individual in their portfolio distribute their wealth, okay, some proportion in the form of money, okay, and some proportion in the form of bond, okay. So this is the basic argument that he has presented, okay. After this, Let me take this photo. I will send it. Okay. Next, we talk about expected return on portfolio. So, what is my portfolio given the wealth of the individual? Portfolio is your money holding plus bond holding subject to your wealth constraint. Okay. So, your expected return on bond, I do not buy R hat. Okay. This is your expected return on portfolio. Okay. This expected return on portfolio, okay, you are getting in terms of how much bond you are holding, because you are getting rate of interest money on bond. Okay, when you are holding money, you are not getting any rate of interest. So when you are holding bond, you are getting certain expected return, okay, on your portfolio. Okay, this expected return on your portfolio, apart from depending on rate of interest, okay, that you gain by holding bond, okay, depend on how much proportion of your portfolio, how much proportion of your portfolio you hold in the form of bond. Okay, hold in the form of bond. So higher proportion if you hold in the form of bond, okay, you will be getting higher expected return. Okay, so what proportion you are holding, and given the rate of interest, your expected return on portfolio will be determined. Okay, if you are holding say 80% in the terms of bond, okay, so you are holding a higher proportion of bond and you are getting rate of interest on that. Okay, so your expected return will be higher. Okay, at the same time, since bond price fluctuate, price of bond, okay, so there is a risk involved. Okay, risk I do not buy sigma. Okay, this risk, okay, arises because price of bond fluctuate. Okay, and this risk will be higher. Higher you will be having proportion of bond in your portfolio. Okay, the more bond you keep in your portfolio, okay, the more risk you will have. The next bond you will keep in your portfolio, given your event, next risk you will have. Okay, so it depend on risk, depend on your price of bond and what proportion of your portfolio you are handling in the form of bond. Okay, given this specification, okay, I am going to define, okay, or determine or give you the utility function of the individual or investor. Okay, let me take this photo. So you have expected return on portfolio on one hand, okay, and you have risk on the other, sigma. Okay, so utility of our representative individual or investor depend on your expected return on portfolio and the risk thing. Okay, and I will give you how to draw this in difference curve. Okay, simple. Okay, technique I have taught one time already, but here also I will teach you technique. Okay, so when your expected return is higher, okay, your utility will be higher. So your utility function is increasing in your expected return on portfolio. Okay, this is first part. Second part, okay, look at this sigma. When your risk is higher, investor utility will be lower. The more risk you have to take, you will be getting less utility. Okay, by having that bond. Okay, so it is positively related with your expected return, and there is an inverse relationship between risk and utility of this representative individual or representative investor. Okay, given this utility function, how I can draw the indifference curve of our representative individual or investor. Okay, so let me note this here. So here he has expected return. Okay, I denote by R hat, and here you have risk. I denote by sigma. Okay, just 1 minute. Okay. So I told you how you can draw the indifference curve. Okay, there is a technique. So first thing, remember, locate yourself at a worst position. Your worst position is that I give you 0 return. Okay, and you have to take the entire risk. This is your worst position. Draw indifference curve that it bends towards you. You are sitting here, so indifference curve is bends towards this. Okay, so this is the shape of your indifference curve. Okay, and where you will represent the higher indifference curve. First, locate yourself at the worst position. Expected return take 0. I am giving you the more risks. You have to take the entire risk. Okay, this is your worst position. Draw indifference curve that it bends towards you so that you can push it to maximize your satisfaction. A higher indifference curve will be represented this side. Okay, this is IC not IC1, IC2. Okay, draw this properly. Okay, this one. I just draw it like this. Okay. Okay. So given this utility function, okay, we know, okay, that this individual had to allocate his rent in the form of money and bond. That means he has to make optimum portfolio allocation. Okay, so that is what next I am going to do. Okay. So graph is very simple. Okay, it's just like first year that you people have done. Okay, no need to worry. Proportion, relationship, all these things you people know. So here you have expected return. Okay, I denote by R hat. And here you have risk. I denote by sigma. Okay. Here is your entire band. I keep it here, this side. When you have more bond holding, it will go this side. You start from here. Okay. The higher you bond have, you will be having 19. This is the maximum amount of band that you can have. Okay. So I am drawing opportunity 9. Okay. If you are holding more bond, okay, you are taking risks, you are getting some return, okay, in your portfolio. Okay. So the higher the bond you hold, okay, the more expected return you are getting, but you are taking more risks in your portfolio. Okay. So this is called OC is called opportunity 9. Okay. So when you are drawing this will be my distribution of wealth, okay, in the form of bond and money. So this point represent that I am not holding any money, no holding of money. That means I am entirely holding bond. Okay, when I am entirely holding in the form of bond. Okay, so I am going to draw this individual or investor utility function. Okay, which depend on expected return and your risks. Okay, these two things. So this is the utility function. Let me use other pen. Okay, that I will use in other thing. So let me use blue. Use the blue. Okay, here. Okay. So suppose. Okay. I need to draw a little bit more this one, right? Just let me extend this one so that I can associate the thing properly. So this is OC9, this is separate, okay? This is X, sigma. So I'm just drawing this 9 point here, okay? So individual don't want to keep entire wealth in the form of bond, okay? but there must be some utility function that is going from this point. Okay, say u naught. Okay, then you have some utility function that is optimizing, okay, your utility given this opportunity 9. This opportunity 9, okay, give you locus of point, okay, where different risk is associated with different return. Okay, so if you are holding this much of bond, okay, if you are holding this much of bond, you are taking this much of risk and your return is this much. So as you increase your bond holding, okay, as you increase your bond holding, you are increasing your risk also from here to here. At the same time, you are increasing your return. Okay, so at a certain point, this opportunity 9 is tangent to this investor utility function. Okay, and that will give my optimum holding of bond. Okay, so this will give me my optimum holding of bond, say B star. Okay, so I am holding this much of bond, I have this much of wealth. Okay, so the remaining amount, this much, okay, remaining amount this much, I am holding as money. Okay, this is my U1 utility. This is how individual allocate his or her portfolio optimally between money and bond. Okay, and it depends on expected return on portfolio. Okay, and expected return on portfolio depend on how much bond you are holding. Okay, and risk factor, because when you are holding bond, the price of bond fluctuate. Okay, that create risk aspect. Given that this is the optimum allocation of bond B star. Okay, and this remaining amount you are holding in the form of money. Okay, so when you not only holding either in the form of money or money in the form of bond, you are holding in both form. Okay, and you are holding bond also. Okay, depending upon how much return you are getting. Okay, so you are holding of money or money demand, not money depend on income. Like in the beginning I said, higher the wealth you have, okay, higher will be the holding of money also. So there is a positive relationship between money demand and your wealth, which is also a form of income. Okay, second thing I am saying that given the expected return, that is rate of interest that you are getting by holding money, okay, you are holding portion of that portfolio, okay, in the form of bond and in the form of money, because you are getting rate of interest. So your money demand also depend on rate of interest. Okay, so this is an big improvement of a Keynes formulation. Okay, where your only holding wealth, only either in the form of bond, if not bond, then you are holding that wealth in the form of or asset in the form of money. Okay, so this is what you have. Okay, let me add one more thing, then it's been clarified. Okay, so this is opportunity cost line. Say interest rate is R1. Okay, suppose rate of interest increases. So when rate of interest increases, okay, what will happen? When rate of interest increases, your expected return will increase, right? Then this opportunity 9 OC will become steeper. Let me draw that thing. This 9 let me use other photo that you will not get confused. Let me take this photo, then I draw that one. This opportunity 9 will become steeper when rate of interest increases. Okay, this is say OC2 and rate of interest is R2. R2 is greater than R1. Okay, so when rate of interest increases, okay, your expected return on portfolio also increases. Okay, so what you will do? You will be having more bond in your portfolio. Okay, so let me use that pen better. So this is your utility function. Say U, U1, U2. Okay. So now look at it. You are holding more bond in your portfolio. Your bond holding increases from B star to B, say 2 star. Okay. So your bond holding increases and money holding decreases in your portfolio. So in this way you can see that, okay, when expected return increases, okay, your money demand or speculative demand for money reduces, right? Yes or no? When rate of interest increases, speculative demand for money reduces, right? Now it becomes this much. Okay. So there is a question that has been there in the examination. It is simple. You have to draw this graph and show that when expected return increases, your demand for money reduces or speculative demand for money reduces, and this is an improvement over Keynes' speculative demand for money. And the reason is that here Tobin in this portfolio approach, okay, able to produce the result, okay, in the form where individual is keeping when in the form of both money and bond. Okay, this is the conclusion part of the theory, and it is an important improvement, okay, that become harmful like the Bowman model in the formulation of NM curve. Okay, N stand for liquidity preference, M stand for money supply. Okay, so this is the thing that you have. Okay, just 1 minute.